say it was different.
What were your working conditions like?
Dirty, but we loved it.
Exactly. It depends on what your job
These were
is.
so old, these buildings, but I loved it. I couldn't wait to get out of bed in the morning. It was really, I mean, they would send you down in the tunnels. There might be, rats and cockroaches, whatever, but it didn't matter because it was, it was interesting to do all this kind of work, especially as a young man. But majority of the buildings were really old, dusty, but it was just a cool place to work.
And they took care of you.
Oh.
If you were going down in the ducts, you'd get like
Sure, it wasn't
like coveralls. They'd supply it. Says, listen, you guys are gonna have to go down the duct. We got a problem.
just the electricians wore coveralls.
Okay, so they, you'd be taken care of, and they do whatever you needed. You need respirators or anything. Everything was taken care of. There was nothing that they would like. We don't care. Just get it done. We don't care if you fall off the building. No,
They had an
nothing was like
environmental
that.
department that made sure everything, because we had a certain amount of asbestos and whatnot, but it wasn't a big deal. They always encapsulated it and removed it as needed. But just every day was somewhere different. You got a work order and you went to this, a building 2 blocks away, and just it was a great.
And they still monitor us.
Oh
Like when we were exposed, they found out we were exposed to asbestos or PCBs. That kind. To this day, we still get physicals, and they monitor all that. They make sure that we get X-rays and everything else to take care of it. So even to this day, with the new company, and that a lot of it probably is with the federal government mandating this, but back then there was no mandate. Everything was different. They just took care of it. We had a dispensary on site.
Yeah.
With a doctor there, and the nurses,
Yeah.
two nurses at one time.
X-ray department, everything.
Exactly.
We had a complete, almost like a little hospital.
Great place.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
Red Cross. They had a whole area set up for the Red Cross to come in for blood donations.
Mm-hmm.
They come in with the tractor trailer of stuff, and they come in. It was really a place that everything revolved around.
Yeah, you had your office areas, your executive areas that were, really super clean, but where we worked was always construction type stuff. But we loved every minute of it, believe me.
What was one of your most memorable experiences working at RCA?
Wow. We're gonna get these. Oh, working with Ron.
I'm driving, so that's the right answer. They were walking home. The family store was always a nice,
Yes.
and a different events for the kids. We took our kids to Santa Claus and all that, and just the craftsmanship. To me, the old buildings, the way they were built, going down into the tunnels where all the old Victrolas were stored years ago, working for a company that impacted the world. To this day, everything we made, the entire world, you name something, RCA had a hand in it. They may not have perfected it, but they invented it. And it was an amazing place to work. It really is.
Yeah, it's always been cutting
Like
edge.
you say, the experience of the family store was just great, and being around people and just, just enjoying your job, like Ron said, getting up to go to work was a fun. And being young back then, sometimes you didn't get up when you left the party and came straight to work.
Mm-hmm.
You parked in the parking lot and went to work, because you didn't mind going there. You
Right.
wanted to go there.
You enjoyed it.
So.
I do recall that, exactly what he's saying. It's like I can remember numerous times coming home just to shower and then change my clothes and then coming to work.
What you're still doing.
But it's funny because as I'm thinking about the question you asked now, I think about it, I have to say, over the years, the amount of people I've interacted with and met over the years, the diversity of the people, from the time I started there until today, is that I can never say that there's been any long stretches of time that I did not look forward to coming to work, even to the day. Like when I get up, it's not like, people say they get up and, oh, I gotta go to work today. I've just never felt like that. And a lot of times when I talk to people that have never been on a job, and they're like, they think I'm joking, but it's like, I kind of say it quietly, but it's like, the greatest job, because I'm like always so happy to get up and come to work and see these knuckleheads and stuff. And it sounds kind of corny, but it's really true. I mean, I'm sure these guys kind of feel the same way. Like I said, over the years, people
Not really. We really don't look to see him when he comes out.
You're the only one that thinks that. The place was so big that I knew Brian's father and him at the same time. Didn't know that that was his father until years later, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, of
It
course,
was
you
just,
can't tell that story.
they were a couple blocks apart in different buildings and all, so. But,
There's just too many memories.
yeah, it was.
There's so many, you know, just.
Walking on the hallway and seeing Tippy, Anthony Santorro, sitting in the middle of the floor counting thousands of parts all over the floor. What are you doing? I gotta count these parts for an area called QT, Quick Turn.
Oh, yeah.
And he's counting parts and that. Just like today, how we look at it, we all go, same memory, I got looking at him going,
That's the job. You do what you gotta do. You're paid to do a job, whatever way, any way you can do it, you gotta do your job.
If something
right.
broke, there was nothing we couldn't make or reproduce. We had a machine shop, a heat treatment, anything. If anything broke, you could actually reproduce it there. That's how much equipment we had there. It's incredible. We had 1.6 million square feet of the whole plant. So we were squashed down to about 800 now. But it's just incredible amount of craftsmen and you know, white collar, blue collar, a little bit of everything. So.
Right, and Father was electrical engineer. He's got patents with the company for stuff that he's designed for the military. And that's the way it was. It was so cutting edge there. It was hysterical. I mean, every day that's where everybody really enjoys going. It never is the same thing every day. Everything changes. From a new machine coming in with a new process, and we're learning on how it operates because we got to make sure it keeps working. To the operators who are learning how to run it. Everybody does their thing, and that's why I think the company's really been staying alive this long.
Yeah.
From RCA, GE, Lockheed Martin to L3. It's just that we got a really good workforce.
We put the names on Velcro now when a new company buys us. It's just a lot easier than
So we've been L3 for quite a while, so we kind of, that's why they're embroidered now.
Right.
And one other thing is that at the, you know, we all first started, for those maybe first 10 years, the dating opportunities were very good too.
yes, there was a lot of girls.
Yes,
There was a lot of girls. There was.
That's the ladies' man down, I guess. I don't know if you're
But, but there was one thing that everybody had in the back of their mind. If their daughter might be working there, you know, the father was there. So everybody still had the same thing. It was like, if you did anything wrong, right, you don't know who was behind you. Like, Ronnie didn't know Brian's father. The idea, you didn't know who was who. So everybody got along with everybody. And it was funny. It was that way. It's like, are you messing with my daughter? You know, like, who are you?
We were drinking beer at lunchtime one time, driving down the Market Street. Brian's in the front, and I see his father. I don't know it's his father. I said, "There's Pete. Let's pick Pete up on the way back from lunch." He said, "Yeah, it's my father. We're drinking beer. I can't pick him up." So he's like scrunched down in the front seat. I never knew that. It was funny.
And how old were you?
And I threw him under the bus because when we went home and I saw my mom, she said, "You rode by your father today. Why didn't you pick him up?" And I said, "Oh, the guy was riding was drinking beer."
And how old were
We
we?
had one on the Irish guy.
20s.
Oh, we were young, yeah.
And we still do trains today.
Yeah, we went
Nowadays,
to
kids in their
beer.
20s could care less.
Yeah.
If they were going to pull, they would have pulled over and said, "Oh, yeah, here, Dad, you want a beer?" I mean, it just
Right,
it was
but
a
we were having a
different
sandwich and a
respect.
beer. Yeah, you didn't.
Right, it was a different type
Right.
of respect then. It was just the times were different.
Yeah.
Like I said, today we still do some crazy things. Like me and him
Speak for yourself.
on a forklift, driving from one building to another building, and we're on the railroad tracks, and I said, "Hey, a train could be coming." Ain't no train coming. Turn around, a train track behind us.
That new
And this was 20 years ago. This was in the last couple of months.
Now I get to watch and see it's an Irish thing.
I said, that train only comes once or twice a day, and 2 seconds later, he's screaming, "Get off the tracks!"
So, we still get along even today.
What kinds of changes were made over the years you were at RCA?
Since it was RCA.
From the time you began at RCA to now, what kinds of changes
Well, the
have there been?
medical's not as good as it used to be, you know, with co-pays and the cost of everything, and,
Cost of living has went up, and still make a decent dollar, but there's, like you said, benefits wise. When you went to the hospital and it was fully paid for. Today you go to the hospital and you gotta go to the bank and count your money out. Because it's the way the times are today. Health insurance is problems everywhere you go, no matter where you go. Things just change in that way.
I don't think companies today keep track of things the way they used to. Like the book that Tony brought, it showed what kind of electric the building had, how many employees, what kind of fire extinguishers they had. You just don't see that kind of detail today. Even the employees aren't as, we used to get things through the mail from the retirement, from all the different booklets, and everything you got to go online now, and the paperwork. I understand cutting down the amount of trees they're using, but I just don't. I think everybody's so busy running around in circles, they don't take time for what's really important. You don't see the closeness that you used to.